Come here. Okay. So we are live. Welcome to the CosCast, episode 27. And today we have the very exciting topic, cosplay photography, and therefore we are joined by a whole gaggle of guests.
Yeah!
The cornucopia of cosplay awesomeness runneth over, or something like that. I am your main host, as usual, Pixie Dust Cosplay, and with me I have my regular co-hosts, which are...
Annabella Cosplay.
And Enyasya Cosplay.
Kitty! And our guests today are Danarki Photography.
Yay!
And Ookami Photography, and Silja Danielson, cosplayer and makeup artist.
Woo!
Thank you all for joining us. We're super happy and psyched that you all agreed to join us on the show.
Thank you for having us.
So before we start our main subject of cosplay photography, we will move on to our regular segment, which is cosplay progress, where we talk about any progress or things we've done that are cosplay related during the past week. So, Enyasya or Annabella, do you want to start?
I have nothing to say. Nothing.
You're looking at it as usual.
Yeah. This is what you've had the time to do. I understand. How about
I have to clean out my apartment, so I won't be able to do anything new until.
Yes, because you bought a new apartment, so you have to move.
Yes.
So congrats, at least.
Yes, thank you.
How about you, Ookami and Silja? Have you done anything cosplay related this week?
Yes, we have. I've started working on Rocket's weapon.
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm making a human version. And we also had a photo shoot today.
Cool.
So, yeah. But most of the week we've both been sick with some kind of virus flu thing. So I've been at home playing Assassin's Creed and planning my future Assassin's Creed cosplay. That's about it.
It sounds like there are worse things you could be doing during a week.
Definitely.
How about you, Danarki? What have you been doing this week?
I should have been editing photos from KawaiiCon and MetroCon, but I have tendonitis in my shoulder, so I'm trying to not stay at the computer too much.
Oh.
That is a wise decision.
Yes. Very, very wise.
So, hope you get well soon.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, before we move on to our next segment, I would just like to remind our viewers that we are open for questions during the live stream. So you can use the Q&A application on Google+, or you can send us comments on YouTube under the streaming of this video, and we will do our best to answer all your questions as we go, just to get that out of the way, so now you know. Our next segment is Cosplay News, where we talk about new stuff that's happened in the cosplay community over the past week. And Annabella, I believe you had some points that you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, but I don't remember them.
That's very professional.
I wrote them down to you.
No, I remember them. You were talking about the whole side-by-side trend that's been going on Facebook the past week?
Yeah, and I've seen that a lot of cosplayers has done this side-by-side where they have a picture of themselves in cosplay and the real character side-by-side. And since this is a photography special, I'm a little bit eager to know what you, Ookami and Danarki, feel about this, because I've seen another cosplay photographer, Royano. He was a little bit critical because people are cutting his pictures to fit into this side-by-side challenge thing. What do you guys feel about this?
First, Hannah?
Sure. Cutting a picture is really not something you should do at least without asking the photographer first. We use watermarks because we want to have our name there, so people know who's taking the picture. So asking at least should be done.
Yeah.
Of course.
Common courtesy, I guess.
Yeah.
How about you, Danarki? What do you feel about it?
Yeah, absolutely, it's a common courtesy to ask the photographer. But I often use a story. If you imagine, photography is kind of the new way of painting. You paint with pictures instead of with a brush. And imagine if Leonardo is painting Mona Lisa. It was a commission work, and the person who commissioned it gets it and says, "Nah, I don't like this. I'm going to cut the bottom there where he's got his signature."
Yeah, that wouldn't be okay at all.
It would look better in 1x1, crop. It
Regional size.
no one would do that with a painting, but with a picture that a photographer has taken, it's suddenly okay.
Yeah, I think it's because it's so easy and so fast to do that people don't think about the fact that this is someone's artwork that you're actually, cutting into.
I think that's a problem.
Yeah. The problem with most things on the internet, it's just too fast and easy.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else, Annabella?
Yes. JC from Fandomly had this really awesome live stream yesterday about Warbler and priming Warbler. And I think you can. Yeah, I know you watched it Ookami, because I saw you were commenting.
Oh, Sunniva, you fell out. We can't hear you. I think she pulled her cord out.
No.
No? Okay. Okay, so what were you saying?
I was saying that for those who missed the live stream, they can watch it on YouTube. They will probably find a link from Fandomly's site on Facebook, I guess. But JC were trying out different types of priming Warbler. She was using wood glue and gesso and different stuff and comparing them. So it was really, really nice.
Very educational, I would assume. Yeah. Very nice. I have a piece of news myself. It seems like Riot Games has launched a cosplay championship challenge where they want cosplayers to send in specific cosplays for depicting champions wearing team jerseys or team colors, like championship Riven or Victoria's Janna or Challenger Ari. So pre-made designs and also self-made custom designs of team colors. So I'll leave a link to it in the show notes so people who are interested in doing League of Legends cosplays can check it out and participate in the cosplay challenge if they want to.
Just don't use any of my photos for it.
No, because Riot Games can be a little bit dickish when it comes to rights.
Yeah.
Haven't you written a really, really long thing about that, Danarki? I think I've read something about the Riot Games things.
Yeah, some cosplayer wrote to me and asked me if they could submit one of my photos to the All Chat, which is a sort of community feature show, and I had to check their terms to see if they were going to use the photo just for the show or if they wanted extended rights for it in any way, and they basically wanted my soul.
That's not okay.
But I think the post was called "This is why we can't have nice things."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Aptly named. So yeah, if you're going to submit anything to Riot Games, be sure you read the submission rules, because they pretty much skin you of any rights you would have to that picture ever.
They actually say, it's the really good part. They say that they can slander you, they can lie about you, and basically say anything they want. They can do it on intention, they can do it unintentionally, it doesn't matter. You have nothing you can say because you submitted the photo. They can say it's shit.
Not that they're very likely to do it, but it's still there, and that's a reason for concern. So, yes, good to know.
I always.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said that's why you just always read the fine print before.
Yes.
And that's also why you should ask the photographers, because photographers usually have a better habit of reading the fine print. We know what to look for.
Yes,
So
that's very true.
it's easier for us to do it than for the regular guy.
Definitely. So be wary. That's a good piece of advice. Also, I've tried out a new cosplay site this week, which is called cosplayit.com. And it's in a beta version, so all of the functions are not up and running yet, but it seems like a nice platform where you can just put out galleries of stuff you've cosplayed and link to your other cosplay pages and just gather everything in one spot. So it might be a good platform for people if they're interested in spreading their cosplay stuff on a wider scale. Yep. That's pretty much what, and I'll put a link to that also in the show notes after we're done for today. And that's pretty much all I have for cosplay news. So I think we'll move on to our main subject, which is cosplay photography. And the first thing I thought we would do that is look at some pictures of things that, Danarki's photography, Ookami's photography, and also pictures of Silje Danielson's cosplays. Just so the audience can get to know you guys a little bit better. Yes. And people always get this look like, oh, I don't know.
No, is it on the toilet now? No, it's
But we're nice. We pick up nice pictures, so you try at least.
Come on.
Okay, so let's start with Danarki. I have some photos here that I know that you've taken. This one is a photo of Crick's design. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
It's from Toricon earlier this summer, and there was a small marina with some old boats there, and we actually went there and asked them if we could use the boats to take a few photos, and I think it turned out really nice.
I think so too. It looks very, authentic.
Yeah. I had to angle her very specifically to not get the bright sunlight in her face. So she's actually standing in the shadow of the mast.
Yeah, because it was. I remember I was there in Trondheim during Toricon, and it was really warm and really bright. So it was very hard to get pictures where your face wasn't all white. Let's see. We'll just move on. This is Heresetai cosplay in her Cassandra outfit.
Yeah. It's from Desicon, also earlier this summer.
And this is Karin Olava, I believe.
Yeah.
In her Asari. And I think what you do, like close-up portraits really well. I think you're very good at capturing characters that way.
It's what I do best.
Well, it shows. And this is Jinx from Riot Games. Let's see, what was her name?
Neko Cosplay.
Neko Cosplay, yes.
Yeah.
So
from Toricon.
The one that was this summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, ask.
Where did you take it?
There was a small mossy lawn just outside the hotel main entrance.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So this isn't really that much nature and stuff around. It just
There's no nature at all. Really.
The magic of photography.
You use what you have.
Yes, basically. I think it turned out really nice. I think the colors are a really nice contrast with the hair and the red moss and everything.
Yeah.
It turned out very nice.
my girlfriend actually did some more edits from that mini shoot, which turned out really nice. Her page is Jellyside on Facebook, so go check her out.
Well, definitely will. Okay, let's move on to Ookami, I think. Yes. Here. So this is a photography of Alvi cosplay, I believe, as an elf.
One of my first cosplay portraits, I think.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah, I think it's like 2 years old, 1.5 year old, something.
Mm-hmm. See, this is you, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, one of my first photos taken in my bedroom, actually.
Well, you can't tell that it was taken in the bedroom, so that should be a compliment. Can't tell. And is this? Were you the one who was on that documentary on Danarki?
Yep.
Yeah. Because I remember the hair and the ribbons.
Yeah, that's right.
Very cool. Let's see. This is JC from Fandomily Cosplay as Seshumaru.
Yeah.
And I love the colors and the light in this picture. I think it's really beautiful.
If you look closely, you can see this is actually besides a graveyard. There's tombstones behind there.
Oh yeah, there's one down in the corner here. Huh.
The tree is really pretty, so we just had to take a few photos.
Yeah, I can see it now. I thought it was a building and windows and not tombstones.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too at first. So clever editing, I suppose. Okay, let's see. Yes, and this is Judge Dredd by Orion Works, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you used this as an example on your photography panel at ToruCon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I remember that there was like a stick poking out in front of him that you were super annoyed with.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of things you can do with Photoshop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. And the last one was this one, which I think you brought up at the panel too, because you thought that the colors were a bit gaudy, but everyone else loved it.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite pictures. It's like so it's really cheesy. But like I wasn't sure if I was gonna post it. I was like, it's so pretty.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty too. It gives me a Final Fantasy vibe. Like all of the covers of Final Fantasy have these like flowing colors. So that's what I think about when I see it. Yeah. Okay, that's you. Let's move on to Silja. And this is Joker, I think. I'm not very familiar with the show it's from, but...
It's Black Butler, yeah.
Black Butler, yeah. And this was taken at Tusenfryd, if I'm not wrong.
By Ookami.
By Ookami.
It was the funniest shoot I ever had.
Oh.
We rode that carousel for about 2 hours. It was okay for me and Ookami and Alvi Cosplay, who was Beast in this shoot. But our assistant, she literally had to sit on this carousel for 2 hours and she was watching our bags and she was like, I never want to get on a carousel ever again. They were really nice to us because they just let us sit on this carousel 2 hours just going round and round. They even kept the carousel open after closing hours for us.
Oh wow, that's very nice.
Yeah, but it was really hard because it was constantly moving. So there were just certain places we could actually get pictures because of the light. So for half the round we were just like sitting waiting, and then we're like pose. Yeah.
And if I don't remember wrong, I think this carousel moves quite slowly.
Yep. It does.
But yeah, I mean, it's probably fun at first, but after 2 hours, I think you're pretty like, ugh.
After 15 minutes, you're
There were children everywhere hogging our horses. They got on our horses and were like, could you
get off?
Do you know what our characters do to children?
You should know. Okay, let's move on. So this is your Elsa, and this is with Hulda Elira, I think, as Anna. Yes.
It is, yeah.
And you're a very, very beautiful Elsa, I have to say. I'm very impressed with the corset.
Thank you very much. It was hell. Those are 2,000 hand-painted sequins.
Oh, geez.
No, never again.
I can understand. And this is also by Ookami? Yes.
Yeah. Like everything.
That's the perk of being together with a photographer.
Very good perk. I would recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, I sometimes wish I was together with a photographer because my husband, he hates it with a big H. This is Uta from Tokyo Ghoul.
Yes, it is. And this costume I've battled so much with because the tattoos are hell. They take so much time and are so expensive to get supplies for. I've gotten good transfer paper for them now, so they don't take so much time, but it's really expensive. So
he's usually not the one applying them.
Nope.
It's probably kind of hard to do it yourself.
Yeah. I just go, paint faster!
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, no. But beyond that, it looks very comfortable.
It is so comfortable. Apart from the contacts that are a bit difficult to get in, and you need to keep an eye on the time because you can only wear sclera contacts for a maximum of 4 to 5 hours because your eyes can't really breathe. But apart from that, it's so comfortable. It's just like wearing pajamas, basically.
Oh, if we could all just feel like that when we go to conventions. That would be nice. And this is Virgil from Devil May Cry.
Yes.
Also by Ookami.
Alright. I think if you look far back, there are some Danarki photos there as well. No, Virgil is really fun. I'm really proud of that jacket because it lines up pattern-wise in places, and I have no idea how I did that. So I'm gonna go back in time and give myself a pat on the back because don't know how.
We'll just it's skill. Let's just say it's skill. Not skills. Well, yeah, that was I think all the pictures I had on you there. So now people know how skilled and talented and gorgeous you all are. They got to know you a little bit better. And then we can move on to our questions. Annabella, do you want to start asking some questions, or should I just go ahead?
What I'm wondering is, have you, Ookami and Danarki, studied photography before you started doing this? How did you have you studied it or just picked it up on your own?
Done?
Yeah, I actually just needed a hobby, and I figured it was all in or nothing, so I took my entire savings account and spent everything on camera equipment.
That's dedication for you.
Well, that was before I even knew that I wanted to do it.
Well, okay, well, yeah, that's one way to do it.
Kudos.
If I had bought a cheap camera, then I would probably just have left it on a shelf somewhere. I had to go expensive to just be able to tell myself that I can't not do this. I've spent so much money, I need to go out, I need to be at concerts, I need to be at conventions, whatever, just doing photography because I've invested so much in this.
Yeah, you would feel guilty towards your money if you hadn't.
So that's how I got into photography.
Wow, that's smart.
I've always been interested in photo. I've always been photographing dogs because dogs are kind of a passion of mine too. So I started to do cosplay photography because of the costumes, mainly. There's so many pretty costumes. I'm also interested in the craftsmanship of the costumes. So actually getting to photograph that is something I really like. So,
I mean, you get chances to get some really spectacular and special photographs with cosplayers.
you can, yeah, and you can use all the fantasy in the world to create art.
And that kind of answers question 2 on our sheet. Why did you decide to focus on cosplay photography? Because you're already a cosplayer yourself.
Yeah, so I started cosplaying without thinking about photography at first, but then I just like, of course I should take photos as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
How about you, Don? How did you move into cosplay photography?
By chance, actually. I was invited to a cosplay event, and by a friend of mine. I barely knew about cosplay conventions, but when I posted the pictures, I posted them on my personal profile, and the community just went wild, and I had like 400 friend requests from mostly minors. Days later, I figured, okay, this is nice. People like what I'm doing, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback on it. So I made a page.
Very cool. Yeah, because it seems like you are a very popular photographer in the cosplay community.
Oh, thank you.
Well loved. And Ookami, did the cosplay come first, or did the photography thing come first?
The cosplay came before cosplay photography.
But you've always been taking photographs.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
And always of animals or nature. So moving on to people is actually really interesting because it's a whole different area.
Yeah, it's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So how do you guys approach cosplayers that you want to photograph?
I just stare at them until they,
Become uncomfortable.
acknowledge that I take a photo of them. No, seriously, I just walk up and say, hey, I really love your costume. Do you think I could take a few pictures of you? And it works every time.
Yeah.
I think most cosplayers are very eager to have their cosplays photographed because you've spent so much time and effort making it in general. So unless you're really, really camera shy, most people will probably say yes.
I've never had anyone say no.
I've actually had a few people who have said no because they were too camera shy.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. Some people are just not comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah, that's okay.
How about you, Hanne?
Me? About asking...
Yeah, how do you approach cosplayers? Do you just...
I do the same. I just walk up to someone and ask if they mind if I take a few photos because I love their cosplay. So usually I get a yes. If they're like kind of timid, it's kind of like, it's okay if you don't want to, but your costume is awesome, so please. Pretty please. If they don't want to, it's okay.
Yeah. And how about you, Celia? Do you get asked to be taken pictures of a lot, or? Very popular.
Yes and no. It depends on my costume, and it also depends on the event. But I guess so. I'm very bad at asking people to take my photo. So I normally get photos taken when I get asked to get photos taken of me.
Different sentence.
Most of my photos are by Ookami, but that's mainly because I'm really lazy, and I'm also quite an airhead, so I don't think, oh, I should go find someone who can take pictures of my cosplay. So most of the time, I don't have any pictures of myself from a convention. Like, I made a whole new cosplay for NarCon, and I didn't get any photos taken, and I didn't take any selfies, so I actually didn't have any photo evidence that this costume existed. That I'd not slept for 2 days trying to make in time.
Aww.
There was no evidence that it was actually done, and I wore it.
So it's more of a you're kind of distracted more than shy or afraid to ask.
Very much so, yeah.
Because we mostly have the opposite thing. We're too afraid to ask because we're like, no.
Don't be afraid.
We're working on it.
I never know what to do. Always if someone's like, can I take your picture? I'm like, yeah. That's what happens.
Let's just sabotage the picture from the get-go, because then we know what we're going to get.
I don't do it on purpose, though. It just happens. Oh.
But does it happen? Do you actively look for like well-known cosplayers, or do you just choose based on what you like then and there, like what you think is interesting, or when you go for subjects to photograph?
I don't chase popular cosplayers. I chase costumes. So if I see something I think is really cool, or someone's that really in character or something like that, I just head for them. I don't like to don't give a chance to the people who are not popular. Everyone should have their costume taken pictures of.
Yeah, that's a very nice sentiment.
Yeah, I agree, but I also chase the popular ones.
Oh yeah, and that's understandable. I mean, because the more popular cosplayer pictures you have, the more people you'll get through to in general. Yeah. So I can understand that.
I put a lot of work into my photos, and I like working with people who put work into their costumes. So it's not that they're famous, it's that they've made a good costume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is true. A lot of the very popular cosplayers are very talented craftsmen as well.
Yeah.
So kind of goes hand in hand.
It's a reason why they're popular, you know.
Yeah. So, like, when you guys are at conventions, do you get like press passes, or do you usually hang just outside of the event, or how does that work out? It works.
Depends on the convention, doesn't it? No.
Because I think that. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I often cosplay myself, so I kind of I usually just buy a ticket and I bring my camera along. I really want to spend whole days just taking pictures, because I don't use my whole time just taking photos when I'm in cosplay, because I want to relax too.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. And if you're a cosplayer, you want to spend some time doing, events or activities or whatever. Yeah. So that makes sense. I totally get that.
Yeah. I have to act like her secretary. People come to me and they go, Celia, when can Hannah take my photo? And I'm like, let me just check her schedule. Hold on. Right now, she's seeing Elle from Death Note. And she can get you in right. I haven't seen her for 2 hours. So if you find her, please tell her we should eat something.
That is very adorable.
That is basically trying to cosplay and photograph at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting food as a cosplay photographer can be really challenging, because when you're walking around with a camera, people assume that you're busy. But as soon as you sit down and put something in your mouth,
yeah, you get swamped.
Everyone at the convention will come at you and, oh, can you take my photo? So the only time I can actually eat during a convention is during the competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then everyone is in the big.
Yeah.
Okay, so if cosplayers want to have their pictures taken by either you, Don, or Hannah, what do they have to do?
Pay me 10,000 kroner cash.
In a perfect world, it would have been like that.
No, just come up to me and ask. Usually at a convention, I have a really tight schedule because I'm all over the place, so it can be hard to find me. So it's just send me a message on Facebook, or it's easier to actually plan a photo shoot than taking pictures at a convention. But if you see me at the convention, just grab my arm and ask me.
But do you guys actually make any money from your photography, or is it mostly just a hobby?
For me, at least, it's mostly a hobby.
Yeah.
There's not much. There's no. The cosplay community in Norway is not a huge fan of of photo shoots. Apparently. But I would recommend it because you get a lot of cooler pictures. So if you really want to have a session with the cosplay in focus, photo shoots. Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally get that because photo shoots that you have more you can stage it and get the lighting right and
yeah.
Get a lot of photos.
Finding locations at a con can be hard.
And you'll have 50 other cosplayers having the exact same background as you.
Yeah.
Depends which photographer you're shooting with.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that too.
Some people reuse the locations more than others.
Yeah.
Understandable. I've noticed that a lot of people who go to Desicon Cosplay in Japan and Desicon Fantasy end up using like the column hallway and the stairs right outside of the convention center, which I can get. It kind of looks kind of medieval, and so it suits a lot of the costumes. But you can tell that where it's from really easily.
And the problem is you have to grab a cosplayer and walk around for like 20 minutes until you find a pseudo location, and it's kind of you lose a lot of time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that's a good pointer for anyone who's interested in being photographed by you, is to set it up beforehand and have an idea of a location where you want to take your pictures, because it'll speed up the whole process and make it easier for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also very approachable, just not while I eat.
Leave him alone. Now everyone knows, at least. So.
We're not scary.
No.
No, we're regular people.
I'm scary though when people are like, "Can Hannah take my picture?" And she's like, "No, she hasn't sat down all day. Go away."
You're the reason I'm not having any shoots.
I'm sorry if people find me intimidating on Hannah's behalf. That's.
Well, you care. You're taking care of her. Just focus on that. See, where are we? Okay, so this is mostly to Hannah and Don. Again, what do you think is important for the cosplay community to know about copyright law, crediting, and commercial use of your photographs? Like key points. What's important?
I could talk about this for hours. But crediting is perhaps one of the most important points. And people have gotten a lot better at it, just from when I started. Possibly because I've been sending threatening messages to everyone who forgets the credit. But no credit, I'm going to come and knock your cap out and all that. People have gotten a lot better at crediting. And I think it's important to say that, it's the age of Pirate Bay and everything, and we actually, I think all the Norwegian cosplay photographers, we love it when private persons share our photos. But what we don't want is for newspapers who usually pay their photographers to use our photos for free, and we don't want companies, businesses to make money off our photos while we sit here and get nothing.
Yeah, for sure. I can understand that that's frustrating because people who can afford to pay to use your photographs should pay to use it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like any other type of photography.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so what exactly are the copyright laws when regarding photography?
Always ask. You need permission for everything, basically, unless you've signed a release of some sort.
A contract.
Unless you have a contract, then you have to ask the photographer every time.
Mm.
That's the law.
Yeah. And it pretty much goes the same way for illustration, which is what I do on a freelance basis, is that you always have to either include it in a contract and get paid for what it's supposed to be used for, or the client has to come back to you every time they want to reuse it for something else.
Yeah.
So that's just fair play, common sense. Let's see. Yeah, so what are your top 3 tips for taking good cosplay photographs?
My tip is to research your character, because then you know how to pose and how to become the character through the lens. Do research on locations, find a suitable location, and also just find tutorials. Actually, there's tons of tutorials online. They comes with great tips about angles, lighting, everything. Check them out and try and test and do. You'll fail and you'll learn a lot, but you'll know what looks good and what doesn't.
Mm. Celia, you as a cosplayer being in front of the camera instead of behind it, do you have any good tips for how to look good in a picture or get a good picture?
Learn how to find light on your face. Because that is very difficult, but sometimes you can feel the actual light on your face, and it will make you look a lot better, and it will make the photographer's job a lot better. Also, just be aware of your body. Just
Practice in front of a mirror.
practicing in front of a mirror, both with your face and with poses, and finding out what kind of poses you want for your character is very good, but also practicing them and finding out what it looks like, because often you have to over-exaggerate your poses to make them look good in a photo. And if you go into a photo shoot not knowing that, the photographer will have to pull it out from you. But it's better for the photographer to reel you back than for them to keep having to push you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you come with more knowledge of how your body looks, it's easier for them to do their job.
Yeah, and it's about knowing your angles, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because we all have a good side and a bad side. So.
I was just about to
My good side was here today.
Celia actually has a good side and another good side. She just doesn't know it.
Mm.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's right here.
But also, communication with your photographer, letting them know what you usually are aware of. Because cosplayers, we're very self-conscious, and we're like, oh, but I have this thing on my right hand that always looks terrible. Then they can tell you if they see that thing on your right hand. You're like, oh, your right hand is acting up again. Then you go, like, oh, let me hide that. So, and like letting your photographer know that, oh, but I'm very self-conscious about that peculiar thing, please let me know if that happens. That will also help you a lot, because you won't get a picture. Sorry, my cat just went. But then you won't get a picture in return where you have that one peculiar thing that you really hate about yourself, and it stands out in the middle of the picture. So communication is key.
Yeah. Also, let the photographer know what you're uncomfortable with and what you're comfortable with, because not everyone is comfortable with all the different poses. So yeah.
Yeah, I have a tendency, if I try to look like to be taking photos of, that I do like this. Because I'm not aware of it, that when this starts to come there. So
Yeah, I know. I don't have a chin either, so I'm like, stretch.
Tilt your chin slightly outward. You don't have to tilt it up, just slightly out. Then you'll never have a double chin again in a photo.
Very good advice.
You can also clench your teeth to get, if you want a tiny bit of more jawline, just clench them a bit. Yeah. You don't have to do any of that.
Well, I'm going to chip in on the top 3 tips.
Yeah.
Taking good photographs. And convention centers, they often have spotlights, which create horrible shadows under your eyes and under your nose and under your lip. So go outside, stand by a window, just don't take your photos inside if you're at a convention, unless they have proper lighting. And
So natural light, basically.
Yeah. Natural light, or it doesn't have to be natural. The problem is that it's coming from straight above your head. And also, my best tip is to go closer, because most people, they stand really far back. They want to get the whole costume in the shot, and the shot is mostly convention center. There's a tiny bit of cosplayer in there, and you're taking a photo of let's say a stormtrooper, and then there's 100 pink and bright blue wigs in the background, tiny girls in maid outfits, and it doesn't fit in with a feel of Star Wars.
Well, no, it's like the Imperial, stormtroopers got a new division.
Yeah.
Well, send in the cavalry troopers. Something like that.
But
Get less of the background.
Yeah. That's very smart.
we experienced that pixie dust when this pig man kind of photobombed us with the stormtroopers.
We were two Siths, a stormtrooper, and a man in a pig head mask in the background. Very endearing. Did you have a last one, Don?
Yeah, have fun.
Ooh, that's the most important one, I think.
Always have fun.
Yeah, because if you're obviously having fun while you're taking photos or being taken photos of, then the photos will turn out better. If you act like you don't even worry about if the photos will turn out good because you're just doing this to have fun, then the photos will actually turn out better.
Yeah, they will at least reflect the fact that you're having fun.
Yeah.
Celia, do you find that there is something that you find difficult about being in front of the camera, like posing-wise or something like that?
Like the things that I said to practice, they're actually really hard to do. Like knowing what your body is looking like sometimes is really hard. And also sometimes taking direction can be really hard. You're like, turn your head to the right, and you're like, look,
how far?
Yeah. No, look at me with only your eyes. They're kind
kind of stuck in my face.
So
Yeah.
it's
No, I can understand.
yeah, it's all about communication and also being comfortable in the situation with your photographer, and you won't have too many difficulties. Sometimes just as a cosplayer, you're not just modeling, you're making sure everything you want in your costume to show is showing, and you're also trying to lean certain ways, and you have props and everything, so that can be difficult for cosplayers to think of all the things that go into that one picture. But yeah, just talk to your photographer. It'll be all right.
Sound advice. Don and Hannah, do you have anything that you find particularly difficult when you're having shoots? Like, what makes a shoot difficult for you?
Don, do you have any?
I can imagine that spectators may be a problem. Like other people coming to watch what you're doing.
It's not much of a problem, but it can if they're like really intense or close, it can be annoying. But I don't mind if people want to watch as long as they're not in the way.
Or
if there's other photographers coming to take pictures of the cosplayer you're shooting, you should not do that. You're the one taking photos of the cosplayer, and you've actually asked the cosplayer to take photos if it's okay, and the cosplayer has said yes. If other photographers approach and just start taking pictures because the cosplayer is posing, but they haven't asked, they should not do that. So be careful if you're spectating. It's okay, but if you come in with a photo with a camera and you start taking pictures without asking, just don't do that.
Yeah, because it's a mutual consent thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And always ask the photographer if it's okay. If it's okay to just take a few shots, but also ask the cosplayer. Yeah, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Like, what has been your favorite shoot to this date? This is a question to all three of you, basically. What's your favorite shoot?
Done. Just start going.
I don't think I have a favorite. I don't want to.
To single anyone out.
No, I don't want to single anyone out because I have lots of shoots that I think have turned out really, really good. I did a really nice photo shoot, not at a convention, but I'm outside Tina Maria, outside her house. We went out in the forest and took some pictures of her Alexstrasza that turned out really nice. But I wouldn't say that any shoot is my favorite.
You pretty much have fun doing it anyway.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Which is a good answer.
As well. I don't have any favorite shoots. The one at 2003 is kind of my. It's not a favorite, but it's my funniest shoot because it was such a new thing. Yeah, it was. I've never done anything like that before, so it was super fun.
Yeah. Same goes for me, I guess. Like, 2003 was a really fun shoot. Normally, cosplay photo shoots are really uncomfortable. They're really cold. Like our Elsa and Anna shoot we had 2 weeks back. It was so cold. we were crying and snot was flying. And it was not pretty at all. Today was fun. We had a nice time up in the woods.
You were doing Attack on Titan, right?
We did Attack on Titan photos in the woods, and there were people jogging by, and we were taking taking Erwin and Levi flashy pictures on the blueberry fields.
Sounds like fun.
And people were just like, "What is going on? What is this fetish thing?" We were like, "Don't mind us.
Keep jogging."
But normally, as long as you're having fun, it's good. But can sometimes be.
All shoots are fun because you get to take photos. It's easy as that.
Yeah. Bring the clothes.
But Celia, do you like being photographed, or is it just something that you do because it's part of cosplay?
I really do enjoy it once I get around to doing it. I'm very bad at having photo shoots. I wish I had more of them because that would help my profilation as a cosplayer, I guess. I should do more cosplay photo shoots.
Yes.
According to my status, I guess. Like, I'm really lazy. But I do enjoy it once I get around to it. So, definitely, I like it, yeah. But you want to have good photos of your cosplays once you've made them as well. So that's it.
Yeah, because it's not just, oh, look at my pretty picture, but it's sort of like a memory or a documentation of this is what I made.
Yes, definitely. Like I said with my costume that I did not get any pictures of, that I still don't have any pictures of. I'm like, I made this costume, but there's no evidence. So.
Guess you'll just have to wear it again. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all the questions we had and have time for, actually. So we'll just round off with our last segment, which we always do, and that's Geekery, which is, have we played or watched or read anything interesting or fun during the past week?
Assassin's Creed!
Assassin's Creed! And I've also just started introducing Hannah to Kingdom Hearts.
Oh.
Horrible!
She hasn't played it.
Now, I've actually never played it myself, but my brother did play it for a while, and so I know a little bit about it, but not enough.
Shame on you! You should reevaluate your life.
That's harsh.
Yeah, so very. No, yeah. There are a lot of things I should be ashamed of. Let's keep it at that.
Okay.
How about you, Don?
I've been watching Under the Dome for the last week or so. Just a few episodes every night, and I think it's a really good series. We're somewhere.
Very good. Yes.
The first season, or I'm not sure how many are there.
There's two seasons so far. I have no idea if they're making more. We're halfway through the second season, I think. And it's I really like the first season. I'm not sure about the direction the second season is taking, but we'll see.
I think I've seen the first season, but I think I just fell off the wagon because the season 2 hadn't come out yet. So. How about you, Annabella?
I've been having fun with math, so now I'm moving on to geometry, which I'm really excited about. Okay, and as some of you know, I have been playing Destiny.
Yes, very loudly and very, very cute.
Oh, well, I play loudly, and I talk to myself a lot, even though if there's no one else listening to me game, and I get really afraid when stuff happens, so I'm like shouting and, twitching and stuff like that.
It looked like you were jumping halfway across your couch earlier when it's like, going, ah! What was that?
I do that with every game, even like Super Mario, if stuff suddenly happens, I'm like, yeah, all in it. I cannot play Slender or stuff like that. I would be so scared. I remember the first time in World of Warcraft I had to kill undeads. I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
How do you feel about the Lich King update?
Yeah, I don't think she could have played through that at all.
Well, maybe now, but...
No, I tried playing Resident Evil once. I think I got 5 minutes into the game, and then I tossed the controller across the room and said, I'm not doing this anymore! So...
I played the scariest game I've ever played. It's called Forbidden Siren, and then you're like normal people stuck in this zombie world, and you have to sneak around, and you change characters, and sometimes you have to be this old man who only have like 3 shotgun shells left, and there's like 5,000 zombies around there, so you're like, you cannot run because he's old. You cannot, shoot because you only have like 3 shots. It's horrible. The game.
No!
I don't think you would enjoy Red Dead Redemption with the zombie apocalypse then.
No.
That's sick. That's so funny.
No! I've been watching Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, is it good? I haven't watched it yet.
I'm enjoying it so far. I'm liking the pre-apocalypse take on it, which is kind of what I wanted to see from The Walking Dead. I'm also terrified of the zombie apocalypse. So it's like the perfect terrible show for me to watch.
I've been planning that since I was about 13 years old, so I know exactly what I'm gonna do if it happens.
I mean, we're all terrified of the zombie apocalypse here. We're paranoid. Unfortunately. And Yasia, how about you?
Well, I've just finished book number 2 in the companion codex with the Drist, and it's quite exciting. It doesn't go very well for the goodly folks, but I hope it will turn out better. And I've been playing World of Warcraft with my boyfriend every day as usual. We're just about to get to level 50 now, and I guess we'll do this every day until level 60, and some more. So,
Right.
oh well.
Well, I started reading Norwegian fantasy for the first time in all ever. So I'm reading Odinsbarn by Siri Pettersen, and she will be launching the last book in the series in October. So I'm going to go to the launch party. So I figured I'd better read this if I'm going to go. Anything else would be rude. So far I'm liking it. So, but I'm just a few chapters in, so we'll have to wait and see.
And yeah, you have to talk about what you did yesterday.
Oh yes, I went to celebrate Bilbo's birthday with the Norwegian Tolkien Society, Arthedain.
Aww, yay!
So I got to dress up as an elf, which is, always fun. And we had dinner and cake, and there was a quiz, and Ingrid Beast Cosplay played her guitarlele and sang a really sad elven song, and yeah, it was really nice.
She does that.
Yes, she does that. It's like, it's hard to breathe when she finishes. Yeah. And she only knows sad songs.
Well, that is a trademark, so...
Yes, it's a trademark. And also, I bought a new board game, which we haven't played yet, so it's The Forbidden Island. And so I'm looking forward to actually unboxing this bad boy. So yeah, that's my stuff. Ooh, and now we're like 3 minutes over our time, which is completely normal. So we're just going to have to round it off, and say to our viewers, thank you so much for watching, and we hope that we will see you next Sunday. And thank you so much to our wonderful, wonderful guests for participating.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure, and you're welcome back anytime you want.
Woo!
And people can find all of us on Facebook. You can find Don at Danarki Photography. You can find Ookami at Ookami Cosplay Photography, and Ookami Photography. And you can find Silja at Cosplayer, Silja Danielsen Cosplayer and Makeup Artist. And Annabella Cosplay, and Yasia Cosplay, and Pixie Dust Cosplay. And you can find the CosCast at facebook.com/CosCast. So that's everyone covered, I think.
Danarki also has this really good blog where he writes about, a lot of stuff that's really nice to read, both as a photographer and a cosplayer, and just a person who
A geek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who likes to read? Someone likes to read.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Exactly.
And you rant really good.
Yes, you're very good at ranting.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's about it for this week's show, and we'll be back next week, and I think we are going to launch our very first CosCast contest. So stay tuned for that. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.